artistic baking is always grounded in good science. Here are some tips that will ensure that all of your baked goods turn out consistently and delicious. One of the most important things new bakers need to know is that although this is a 1-cup measure, so is this. What's the difference? The metal one is used for measuring dry ingredients. The glass one, and it can also come in plastic, is used for measuring liquids. And there's a really different technique for measuring each type of food. In order to measure flour appropriately, new bakers often think they need to scoop right in and get as much flour as they can packed into their cup. But that's going to result in stodgy, heavy baking. So instead, you want to take your measuring cup and spoon the fluffed up flour into the cup. You don't need to sift it. All the flour that you can buy in Canada has been pre-sifted. You just want to keep it from being too substantially packed. Now I'm going to use the tail end of my spoon and I'm going to level it off. I'm going to keep it touching the top of the cup the whole time until it's perfectly even. And that is an appropriately measured cup of flour. Measuring brown sugar has its own set of techniques. Recipes usually call for either lightly packed or firmly packed brown sugar. And here I've got a 1/4 cup measure, and instead of doing the scooping method, I'm just going to put it into the sugar. Again, mount it on top, and then I'm just going to lightly pack it and use the heel of my hand, or again, you could use a spoon. But here, you want it to be very tactile so you really can feel how packed it is. If it says a well-packed sugar, then I'm actually going to apply a little bit of light pressure and press the sugar in. Now you see this one, I still need to add a little more sugar for this to be well-packed. And you can do it with a spoon, but I'm still going to ensure that it's just right with my hand. Granulated sugar is measured a little bit more like flour. You're just going to scoop it into your container once again and then swipe off the top once you've got a nice mounding. Using these kinds of measuring techniques will really help your baking to turn out the same every single time. Measuring spoons are used for both liquid and dry ingredients. Use the same techniques when you're measuring your dry ingredients as you did with cups, scooping and then swiping off the top. This is a liquid measuring cup, and as you can see, it comes with a scale that tells you how much liquid you have in it. Now, you could try to measure it this way, but chances are, because of the height that your body is at and the height that the cup is at, you won't have an accurate measure. So it's much better to put it down on a counter and get down at the same level. Then I can just pour very slowly and watching right at eye level the line I want to get to, which in this case is 1/3 cup, and slowing down and just going drop by drop until I'm right at the appropriate line. And that's how you measure your liquid ingredients. Really important to understand the differences between measuring dry and wet if you want to make the same thing over again and have it be just as good each time. One question that I get asked, and most professional cooks get asked all the time, is what does it mean when it says an egg? Can I use any egg? The fact is, yes and no. You can use any egg. You can certainly use a brown egg for a white egg. They're exactly the same inside. The shell makes no difference. But if it doesn't specify the size of egg, you should assume that it means a large egg. An extra large egg will add more liquid than you need, and obviously a small one won't add quite enough. So I hope these tips are helpful and help you to feel more confident when you get into the kitchen and start baking. Join me again, and I'll share more one-step tips.
For more recipe videos, visit lifemadedelicious.ca.